Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the Sketchdom. My name is Jason Sketch, and I'm super excited to bring you guys more Marvel Champions content. Today, we're going to be working on our Week 2 decks for the Limited Environment Draft Tournament, LEDT. So I'm pretty excited about it. Hope you guys are as well. Let's jump on down to the table and check things out. So I done did it again. It's not a table. This is a deck building website. So my bad for that, but welcome on down. Glad to have you guys here. We're going to jump right in and start building. I've got two ideas I think are going to work pretty well against MODOK. For this scenario, we are using this MODOK here, MODOK B, which is, if you look it up, has 3 scheme, 1 attack, retaliate 2, and steady. So it is going to be a fun scenario. I enjoyed playing it before. I've never done it in Experts, so it'll be nice to give it a shot. And so I thought I would try it out with Rocket Raccoon and Bucky. So let's give a shout out for the 2 great heroes, and let's start building. All right. So immediately, I can't find Rocket on the screen. Here he is. All right. So immediately, a lot of you guys might be thinking, well, Rocket Raccoon is he's going to do 2 firepower games and get past the retaliate and move on. I thought about that because Rocket Raccoon with firepower is just, it's so much fun to play. It's really easy, and it just is an enjoyable time. You guys seen that on my content already, and I had a wild idea that I want to try out. It may blow up in my face, but it is going to be a protection build. So here we are, another protection game, but I think it'd be fun to try it out. So first and foremost, we do need to grab his best bud. We're going to grab Groot here. We're going to walk on over to protection. And here's my thought process that I'm going to build everything else around it. 2 key pieces here. We're going to want to get 3 barriers. And I'm thinking 3 shields. Now, kind of might be looking at me a little confused because that seems like a lot, and that might get adjusted here soon. My thought process for this is very simply put. The more energy barriers I can get up, the more damage I do back to them when he does retaliate to me. And then hopefully I can be able to cycle those through with 2 of the most wonderful support characters in the game, Fitz and Simmons. And so I can kind of hopefully keep cycling the barriers back into my deck, keep having them pop back out whenever I attack. Already we're looking at 24 cards just with that. Now you might be thinking, cool, with the energy shield, you got Groot and that's it. You may be able to put it on Rocket and Groot. Why have the third one? Well, I think both of them are going to be helpful. I'm probably going to try to keep one on Groot if I can. But with Rocket's alter ego action, you discard a tech card to draw 2 cards. Feels really good when you're discarding a 0-cost card to draw 2 cards. Trading 1 for 2. I think that is so brilliant, and hopefully will work out in my favor. That at least gets me 6 cards if those are sitting on the table. Now, excuse my the cold or whatever I've got going on, but let's jump right to it. So that's the basics of what I'm gonna get started with this deck. I think if we can get a mansion on the table, that'd be nice. We want front organization so we don't just lose stuff randomly. And then a helicarrier to help play stuff would be great. We're just one of those, though. We don't really need Sky Destroyer. We don't need team building exercise. Do we need team building exercise? Normally for running Groot, not really. Yeah, because the rest of his cards don't have, like, Raccoon or Guardian on them. So. Oh, you want the 3 resources. We got to try to open those gates, too. We're at 30 cards already. See what allies we have available to us. One ally I thought was interesting that I have access to. I forgot I had access to Luke Cage. Nova. Oh, yes, we need Spider Bite for sure. Because Spider Bite will come in and he will do some work. She'll do some work. and be basically free in his kit. Nova was an option. I like the idea of spending a lightning resource to do 2 damage to anybody when they attack me, when they initiate an attack. I think he's just a card that sits on the table for 4 cost. With the right amount of money in my hand, that's not a bad deal. And really, really tempting. I think I'll toss him in there for now. I've never used that ally. And it's somebody that we can talk about later on as well. In Sidekicked. Which, if you aren't watching Sidekicked, you need to check it out. We are a podcast. All about ally cards and gives you a chance to talk about those wonderful allies. Do love me some White Widow. I don't think this is the right time for White Widow. Starhawk. When Starhawk takes damage exactly equal to his remaining hit points, return him to your hand. He costs 2 to play. He might come back to my hand. Not a bad deal to have on the team as well. But it is interesting, right? Using the entry barrier is not for protecting myself when I'm getting attacked, but rather for the purpose of protecting myself from his retaliate damage. Right? All right, let's see what other upgrades we've got going on here that I might be missing. Some of these all involve me being able to defend. I like the idea of an armored vest, just because if I have to defend for myself, at least I got 3 defense. No, 2 defense. Yeah. I also like the idea of stun gun. Another piece of tech that I could find. But really the only benefit here is it would work well against the minions that show up. It wouldn't really help me against MODOK. How many of these vulnerable minions do we really have in this kit that is worth bringing a stun gun for? One. I might do that, or might be able to stun a Adaptoid, crazy powerful Adaptoid that I want to avoid dealing with. Which hopefully won't have any of those. Looking at the villain deck. Rocket can be a little squishy, but I think we'll be okay. As long as we can handle the Adaptoids that are in front of us. I don't know if I want to... Oh, I do want to run ready for a fight, though. Because that gives me a chance to come back down and get that money that I was looking for. Which means we need to run practice plan. Then we're going to hope and pray that we have enough fist resources in our kit to flip down. Be able to do the ready for a fight plan. But I want to try to keep things at 40 cards as much as I can. Any basic allies. You can always get Grant Ward out there. Groot. Madam Web, Melinda May. I just like Melinda May. There's regular old Nick Fury. Ooh. And then, of course, Mockingbird. I mean, regular old Nick doesn't hurt because he's got benefits beyond the nonsense. And then Professor X could come in and stun a minion, but could help with threat removal. And be a wall if I need him to. The rest of these are not helpful to Rocket. Feels pretty fast to build. Is there any, like, events I need to be looking at here? Flora and Fauna, not really something I'm interested in putting into the kit right now. Mutant Education, nah. He's not a mutant. That's the situation, which lets me get +1 hand size at the end of the phase. Feels kind of nice when I want to grow my drawing pool. We do need at least one side holster. Maybe support. Right, booster boots, we can get one of those. Nice in general. We do have access to depth focus. This is something I was worried about earlier. Forgot it came out that. Forgot that it came in Galaxy's Most Wanted. We want the endurance. I thought the side holster came in a Rocket's kit. Am I wrong? Was that a Venom card? Enhanced reflexes was something I considered too, because it would allow me to pay for Nova and pay for Energy Shield if I need to. Cost me 2 to run it though. That's just an interesting concept. And it only lasts for 3 turns. Usually I wouldn't, but with the nature of what we're doing, I could have sworn that he got that card. Ah, side holster does come in Venom. Okay. It's got Rocket's image here. So that does kind of stink. A little bit. But it doesn't put us in a huge bind. We can still play around that for other purposes. And we'll rotate through enough tech that maybe it won't matter at the end of the day. I feel like the booster boots are going to get in the way. And I'm not really going to defend, so. But it might work well with the energy barrier. If I don't have 2 energy barriers down when I decide to attack. From an attack, though. Okay, so it wouldn't work against the retaliate. Dang. But I think we just get rid of it. I think we decide to go with 0. That means we're running these 2 enhanced reflexes. I'm curious if they're going to get in the way. But there's always room to find out, right? So it is kind of nice to not have thousands of cards to have to look through while we're doing these builds. So I don't really, I'm not interested in any of these right now. I like multi-talented and hit and run, but not necessary here. And there's no other major allies in here. I was hoping for like Drax or something, but he comes in like Gamora's kit, I think. So Grant Ward is just nice, but I'm not too worried about it. I feel like I want to focus on Rocket. If he's going to do basic actions for a while, it's just going to be your clearing threat and just trying to survive. Trying to do the flip every turn if I can. So Does that mean that we need to look for an event card that helps me clear more threat? I don't think so. You know, I have 9 cards that are fist. Got mostly lightning resources. But we do have some wild resources too that we could use as fists. We need to. 1 wild resource. 2 wild resources. Okay. Wish I could play Rocket. I could run Rocket in my kit for the wild resource. But I couldn't play him because of the unique rule. Does the unique rule apply to having him in your kit? Okay, so you cannot. Unique rule, I could not put Rocket in there. Okay. Cool. Just exploring all my options because I don't want to like walk away from this and go, dang, this is something you should have put in there. Now, resources here. 2 power protections. Let's see. This cost me 2. This cost me 0. Cost me 1. But it can help me play these. And then he cost me 2. She cost me 3, depending on what's going on. And Nova cost me 4. It might be worth to run it for just the 2 wild resources, at the very least, to help me like open the gates and stuff. So I think that is where I want this deck to be. In the stop hitting yourself, counter punch, fighting fits, desperate defense, fighting fits. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. Desperate defense. Well, that's annoying that I did not use that in my Gambit build. Should have used that in my Gambit build, but here we are. So not today. Yep, that's a 2-threat 1, preemptive strike, serve protect, and tackle. Okay. I think we are. Ooh, interesting. Black Widow. When a card is revealed from the encounter deck, exhaust Black Widow and spend a mental resource. Cancel the effects of that card, discard it, and then reveal another card from the encounter deck. Oh, so she cycles through counter cards for me. I'm okay. She does clear 2 threats. She's only got 2 health. Yeah, we're doing okay. Electrostatic armor. If I choose to defend from an attack, I can at least deal damage. And it is another piece of tech, which is just kind of funny. I think I'm going to go against it this time. Use the ready for fights and go from there. Do we want to minimize some things down? I don't think so. I think we're going to be okay. And then as I practice play, I may make some changes, just like I do with my Gambit deck. So this is Rocket. For the LEDT protection. I'm hoping this works out well. I'm really excited for the energy barrier process here. If I get him set up while I'm playing the game, that will help out a lot. And then Fitz and Simmons will help out a lot too. So Just going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. Okay. Let me know what your thoughts are. Put them down below in the comments and what you would change about this deck and suggestions you may have. I will probably play this deck before, but I want to give it a shot. So I want to hear what you guys think and then maybe help me go, oh crap, I should have thought about this last time. All right. Next, we're going to flip on over to Winter Soldier. I'll see you guys over there. All right. Well, we've completed that first deck. This is going to be a Bucky Barnes Winter Soldier build. I love me some Winter Soldier. Feels a little lackluster because I'm going to use a lot of his kit to make this happen, but I do like Firepower, and I think Firepower is a solid card. So let's just get over there and get started with all the stuff we need from aggression, and then we'll kind of flip back over this way. Though both the Nick Furies do sound like a good option. So aggression, which is kind of good because I've not played aggression in a minute, and I love me some aggression. So all right, Firepower, we're going to run 3 of those. We are going to go to get Aggressive Stance. When you engage a minion, discard this card. Search your deck for an attack event and add it to your hand. That's actually kind of fun. Bambino. Combat training, obviously. Follow through. When your hero attacks, deals any amount of excess damage, increase that amount by 1. I do have hand cannons. That is exciting. Very exciting. All right, we do want Man on the Wall. Shield Sidearm. I think we run 2 of those. And it is not a restricted weapon, which is nice, so I can attach it to Bucky, or I can attach it to... Oh my gosh, Deathlock. Okay. Martial Prowess. Add it in there for now. A lot we want to do here. Bambino is just nice for the purpose of... When an attached character makes a basic attack, remove 1 ammo counter from here. This attack deals 3 additional damage and gains overkill. I like you, Bambino. This card gains restricted. This card game restricted? Nope. Okay. Hand cannon is restricted, right? Yep. So. But I can play Bambino on a shield character and it not be on Bucky. Which feels weird because it cost me 3. So. Hand cannons are nice too. Okay. Coming back to the hand cannons because we may or may not want them. Okay. I'll run 2. Very cool. Go to the allies. Maybe the perfect time to run Captain America. I've never actually played this card, but he does cost me 4. Comes in with tough, which is nice because I could use that tough. After Captain America enters play, ready a shield character, which I could use him to ready Bucky. So, and then Deathlock is nice too because he can just do some cool stuff. So, which he brings in that shield sidearm, which makes it a lot better for all of us. Let's see, Brawn. Remove 1 threat from a scheme. Bug. After your hero makes basic attack, heal 1 damage from Bug. Hulk. Hulk is just fun. After Hulk attacks, discard the top card of your deck for each printed resource. Do 1 damage to each character. With the amount of fist resources I'm running, Hulk may just be fantastic. I may discard a card I don't want to discard, but it's part of the process. Spider-Woman. Don't have any Web Warriors popping in right now, Spider-Woman. Tigra as well. Beats a minion, heal 1 damage from her. Yep, that's a card that's in the game. Alright. I love me some Dum Dum Dugan. I don't think it's going to work out for me. Let's get supports going. Avengers Mansion, Front Organization, Hellcarrier. I wonder if the Mansion's going to get in the way. We do want Simmons and Fitz to help us get those guns down. Find weapons and all that fun stuff. At the very least. Guy Destroyer. I'm playing a couple of shield items. Well, we'll go back here. Let's get Nick, because we can play both the Nick Furies. This one allows me to do some cool stuff, and he's shield. And then this one also leaves, but he comes in and does some cool stuff as well. Which he can give me a tough status card or somebody else, which is great. They're both awesome. We want Professor X as well. For the purpose of this, Professor X won't be able to confuse or ready Winter Soldier. Clearing 3 threat is nice. Depending on how many minions we get, really is going to impact how much I care. So, because I could stun minions with him or whatever. But with the right amount of minions, Winter Soldier's just going to take him out with, and then clear 2 threat. I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be just fine. All right. Let's see what other event cards we have. You'll pay for that. After a villain attacks you, remove 1 threat from a scheme for each damage you took from that attack. Interesting. I think we'll be able to handle threat pretty well. Chase them down. That's also threat removal. Drop kick. Deal 4 damage to an enemy if you pay for this using a fist resource. Stun the enemy and draw a card. I mean, that is nice. It would be 5 damage if I use it with the arm. And then I'd be spending a fist resources anyways. Drop kick is just good. But it is 3 cost. But if I use it on MODOK, I take 2 retaliate damage back, but he gets the buildup of the stun on him. And I get to draw a card. The card draw is what's bringing it back to me because it's an extra resource or whatever else I need. Into the fray, deal 6 damage to a minion. For each point of excess damage dealt by this attack, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Relentless Assault. Deal 5 damage to a minion. If you pay for this using a fist resource, this attack gains overkill. Excess damage from this attack is dealt to the villain. I mean, 2 costs to do 5 damage, and we'll have some interesting things going on. I don't know if you want to run 3, but 2 would be good. Spoiling for a fight. Discard cards on the top of the encounter deck until you discard a minion. Put that minion into play and engage with you. Ready your hero. Which is always nice. Get a good ready. Toe to toe. Choose an enemy. The enemy attacks you. Deal 5 damage to that enemy. It's a fun card. Uppercut. Let's see. Melee? I thought he also came with the card. His kit. It's 1x1 that I'm thinking of. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. If this attack defeats an enemy, deal 2 damage to an enemy. It defeats that enemy. Okay. Or melee is deal 3 damage to an enemy, deal 3 damage to another enemy. And if I pay for it with the arm, it is 4 and 4. Which is interesting. I don't get readied for having, well, but spoiling for a fight lets me ready. Minions come in. How many minions do we have in this kit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then some of those are adaptoids, which could be super duper annoying. So I don't think I want to do spoiling for a fight. Because we do have several shield allies coming in, let's get a team building exercise. I think that'll help reduce the cost of a lot of things. Oh, and I don't have these? Well, there we go. Do I want, let's see, power of aggressions. Yes, because they have wild resources on them that I can use to open up gates. This is what I think I'm going to run with. It should be very interesting to see how it plays out. I really wish I had marked as a card, because the overkill potential is great. But With firepower, we get the ranged, and then we get other options coming around the corner as well. I bet Bucky's going to do a lot better than I anticipate him doing. So, LEDT, aggression, which I always misspell. All right. That should be it, guys. I'm pretty excited about it. Hope you guys are as well. Let me know in the comment section down below what might need to change, what you guys' thoughts are. I definitely prefer staying close to 40 cards, so I may be dwindling down this deck a little bit as I test it out. Martial Prowess may not be as helpful as I need it to be. I may be getting too many resources and things are going to get in the way. But we'll find out. So, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Jason Sketch, and next time I'll be deadly serious next time. Peace.